Last summer, this was my schedule. Wake up at 7 a.m., eat a healthy breakfast like a Greek yogurt bowl with granola and berries and honey, then go out to run. Come home, study, lunch, then gym. Now, that was a bit ambitious for me, and I maybe followed through for that for the first 2 weeks of summer, and then again for the last couple of weeks trying to save myself before the school year started again. And what I learned was that despite how productive of a plan I made myself, it ended up making me waste my summer. And so, if you want to make the most of your summer and make this the best summer you've had in your life, please just listen up, because I've got that exact guide on how you're going to do that. First of all, please throw that schedule away. It's good to say that you're going to wake up at 7 a.m. and go to the gym every day, but unless you have some extreme willpower, it's not going to make much of a difference. What instead I want you to try is to take a couple of minutes and just think about what you want to achieve by the end of the summer. Maybe you want to have a specific body to impress others with when you come back to school. Maybe you want to get rid of your eye bags, or maybe you just want to have the most greatest academic turnaround anyone's ever seen. And so for me, I wanted to do well on the SAT. I took a practice test at the start of the summer and got a 1280. I knew it wasn't horrible, but I knew I could do better, especially if I wanted to get into a top college. In the simplest form, I want you to think about what you're going to need to do to achieve those goals. Maybe you're going to need to go to the gym 4 times a week or read a book every night. Whatever it is, make sure you get those things done, but don't shove them to the start of your day like I did. Just make sure you get them done at some point in the day, and you'll notice that other things start to fall in line. One day, you'll be really busy, and you won't be able to go to the gym until 10 in the evening. You'll realize you need to have more hours in the day to achieve your goals, and naturally, you're going to start waking up earlier to give yourself more time to get things done and also enjoy the day. And I want to talk about that for a second, because I think people skip over it. Waking up earlier doesn't have to mean waking up at 5 a.m. and doing a full morning routine you saw on YouTube. It just means giving yourself more of the day. When I started waking up at a decent time, not early, just not noon, I noticed I had way more mental energy in the afternoons. You're not rushing to get things done before it gets dark. The day just feels longer, and that's actually a big deal in the summer when you're trying to fit in a lot of different things. For me, I spent a lot of time in the summer gaming. I'm not going to tell you to stop gaming or give yourself a screen time limit, but what I want you to do is, instead of remove gaming, make sure you add in other activities. Do something creative with your day. Pick up a hobby. You could learn to code or pick up photography or try out painting. Just please do something that's creative. Once you find something you truly enjoy, you'll start spending more time on that. And the things that were eating up your whole day, like gaming for 8 hours straight, will naturally get replaced. I actually went through this myself. At some point last summer, I started messing around with something outside of gaming just to try it, and I realized pretty fast that having something to show for your time feels a lot better than finishing another match and queuing again. It's not me telling you gaming is bad. I still play a lot. But there's a difference between gaming because you're enjoying it and gaming because you have nothing else going on. When you have a hobby or a project, gaming becomes a thing you do to relax instead of the thing you do by default all day. Going back to last summer, I still struggled to maximize my day despite following all the advice I've shared so far. And that was because of one huge mistake. I focused too hard. I spent my days studying for the SAT to the point where I felt like I had been productive and that was all I needed to do. But I stopped going to the gym and ran much less. I put on like 15 pounds and overall became a lot less fit. What I really want to warn you against is focusing too hard on one thing. I would actually rather you be scattered this summer. Don't spend all your time honing one skill if it truly takes all of your time. Go out with your friends as much as you can. Explore different hobbies and spend this summer doing things you haven't done yet. And that last part is something I want to sit on for a minute, because I think it's the thing most people don't actually plan for and regret the most in September. The summers you remember are not the ones where you were the most disciplined. They're the ones where something actually happened. You went somewhere you'd never been, you stayed out too late with your friends doing something stupid, you found something you were genuinely into that you didn't expect. That stuff doesn't happen by accident, or at least it doesn't happen if you spend the whole summer inside grinding one goal. So my actual advice is this: before summer starts, or right now if it already has, write down 1 or 2 things that you want to be able to say you did by the time school starts. Not just goals, like actual things. Not just saying you want to be fit, but instead being able to say that you've been going to the gym 5 days a week since June. And then separately, write something down you want to experience or try that has nothing to do with self-improvement. Just doing something for the sake of doing it. A trip, a place, a person you've been meaning to spend more time with, something you've been putting off because you didn't have the time during the school year. You have the time now. The mistake I made last summer wasn't that I had goals. Goals are fine. The mistake was that I treated summer like a test that I could either pass or fail. And when I started to slip on my schedule, I felt like I was failing. And so I either overcorrected or felt burned out, and so I gave up and did nothing. There's no reason summer has to work like that. It's the one long stretch of the year where you actually get to set your own pace, and so please use it that way. So to bring it all together, ditch the rigid schedule. Pick 1 or 2 real goals and make sure you're doing what those goals require at some point in the day. Wake up at a reasonable time, not early, but just not noon. Add something creative or new into your days, and don't tunnel so hard on one thing that everything else falls apart. And actually do something with the summer that you'll be able to talk about when someone asks how it went. Don't waste it.